Hello, welcome to my channel. Okay, so I'm really excited. I spent hours last night writing a blog on natural healing, and I didn't realize how many things were just kind of coming together and were coming up in my memory, and I just decided it would be better if I put it in a nice little YouTube video. So if this is something that you resonate with, you want to learn more of, you have more questions, make sure you send me a DM, put it in the comments below, like, subscribe so you can get more of this stuff. And I'm really, really excited to just share with you a little bit about my journey. So if someone told me that when I was 25, 26, 15, 20 years ago, wow, that I would heal my body by working through my emotions, I would have told them they were full of crap. And they would have laughed and walked away. Now, I get it. I get it so much. And I love that the stance that I took then when I was going through being diagnosed with PTSD and really finding out that a lot of the women that I worked with were in some sort of counseling and therapy, I didn't realize how many people had unprocessed emotions. And so when I was 25, 26, I'm like, I want to help people be able to know that it's okay to go to therapy because we need to work through our emotions. I had no idea the journey it would take me to now having books upon books on emotions and the probable causes within the physical symptoms of the body and getting into metaphysical anatomy and energy healing. And it's been a wonderful journey. And I'm not stopping anytime soon. I am here on this planet to really help people transmute these energies. And by doing so, I'm going to share with you a little bit of my story and really bring it back into the 3 things that I really believe and have gone through that make up for like this whole way of natural healing. It's not just a supplement. It's not just spending time in nature. That's a part of it, but there are pieces of this that really make a difference. So I want to say, number 1, I wouldn't be here without Western medicine. Like, no joke, Western medicine saved my life. I was pulled out with forceps, the biggest forceps that they have used in that hospital. Probably pretty scary birth. I don't remember much of the birth besides feeling that chaos in that environment. And that affects us later on in life. Great. Okay, so when I was 6 months old, I went into surgery because my bones in my skull were fusing too fast. And I actually have a scar that goes from here to here. And it's like, I will show you a little bit of my scar if I can figure out how to use the camera. Oh my goodness. There we go. So that scar goes from ear to ear. And I have plates and wires in my head. So Western medicine exists for a reason. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. But there's also this energetic piece to it that as I was going through that surgery, there were angels there. There were guides. They were helping the anesthesiologist. And so knowing that we are not alone on this planet, even when we go to Western medicine, is super important for somebody as spiritual as I am right now. And so knowing that there is a time and place for everything that we do. Sometimes we're going to heal with pure energy. Sometimes we're going to heal with energy and adding in some nutrients from this planet. Sometimes we're going to heal by really digging into the emotions. And it's all valid, and we need all of it. Because if we don't do any of it, we're not going to heal completely. Things are going to come back. And if we only do one and we don't do the other, it's probably not going to be a consistent change, depending on how much is actually in the cells, the tissues, and the bones of the body. So what I've learned over time is that there's books like The Body Keeps Score. There's some books by Dr. Gabor Mate that I cannot remember off the top of my head right now, but the trauma sits in our bodies. It sits in the cells, the bones, the DNA. And this is lifetimes. This is ancestries old. This is lifetimes upon lifetimes. This is galactic lifetimes, all of the things. And it's all within our bodies. And then there are like the energetic fields around us too that it's in. So, like I said, I was 25, 26, and I was doing really well at work until I wasn't. And during that time, I went from this super high performer and I was working in one of the top 4 accounting firms. And all of a sudden, I can't perform my work. I'm distracted. Things just aren't working out. And so I end up going to my manager. We figure out some different ways. I'm still not performing. And so I decided to go see counselors and therapists and to really see what was going on. And so what I realized is that the PTSD from my childhood was something that was affecting my day-to-day life. And I'm going to leave the PTSD for another video. But what happened as a result of like going through this, I ended up with another sinus infection. I've been dealing with sinus infections for most of my life, at least once a year, if not twice a year, from the seasons. Every fall and every spring. Was it really the seasons? I'm a little skeptical now. There are things around us that do start to have environmental factors that we need to detox out of our body. So yes, our body starts to speak up at some point. However, I had the sinus infection. The sinus infection actually means childhood trauma is coming up. What? At the same time that I'm going to counseling for my PTSD. I didn't know this at the time. I'm putting this all together actually in the last 24 to 48 hours of all of these coincidences that were going through my life. I was getting very strong reactions as a little kid to medications where my body, like I would take it, but I didn't really want to. And this time that it took me to go take another pill for my sinus infection because it wasn't going away, I started to read the side effects. And I had taken that fall this prescription and I hurt my ankle that took me 6 months to heal. And then I'm going through this again and looking at everything that could go wrong. And I could really hurt my tendons again for 6 months after taking the medication. And so my body and my mind was really telling me like, hey, Christin, it's time to look at something different. And so when our body, when our intuition is starting to speak up, it's important to listen just a little bit. And so I decided to follow my gut and look up natural healing ways. My doctor, not so impressed. They kept telling me that I was going to get an infection in my brain and that I really shouldn't go down this route. And I was like, cool, I'll come back in like a week or two and see if anything has cleared up. And if not, I'll take this prescription. I'll fill it. But until then, I don't want to fill it. I really feel that I need to do this on my own. And so I looked up different ways to heal it with essential oils, with saltwater rinses, apple cider vinegar rinses, really just focusing on draining. I was doing pressure points, being able to drain and reduce the inflammation to get the gunk out. Well, what's interesting is sinus infections are really about suppressing trauma. Weird. I was going through PTSD, bringing up childhood trauma, having the sinus infection. Wow. Okay. Oh, sinus infections are also about not speaking up for what I wanted and needed. I wasn't speaking up at work. I wasn't speaking up at home. I wasn't speaking up in my relationship that was falling apart. I wasn't enjoying my life. Wow, that's a lot to process. So as I heal those pieces, I just start to speak up of what's not working in the relationship and what's not working for me, and really finding a new way of doing things. I started to enjoy my life more. I started to voice my opinions, not very well, because we'll find out later. And things started to get better. So not only did I use the physical things in this 3D realm, the apple cider vinegar, the essential oils, I was going to therapy, I was clearing out an emotional level, even not even thinking about it. And so I was able to move forward. Well, now I don't get sinus infections, or when it starts, I'm able to really clear it a lot faster because I have a basis. I know what works for my body. Remember, this doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for me. So then I move into a few months later. I'm moving to Vegas. I don't know if it was a few months later. It wasn't a few months. It was a few years later. I'm moving to Vegas, and I had flown into Vegas from Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, I had a red eye to Atlanta to go have a client meeting, to pick up my car to go to Ohio. Like, there's a whole big thing right here. And so I end up changing my flight, where I wanted like a few days at home and then I would get on a flight. The sales guy really wanted me to be in Atlanta to meet with a client. I was like, it's really, really pushing it for me, but like I could do it if I take the red eye. Okay, fine, I'll take the red eye. So I end up taking this red eye. My dress, like I rarely pack a bag, but this time I packed a bag. My dress is in my checked bag that hasn't arrived yet. It didn't make it on that flight. I got delayed coming in, and I started to feel really sick. My throat was starting to close up. I truly didn't want to be there, but yet I kept pushing through, hoping that something would change. And I did. I got my wish. I got my manifestation. I didn't have to go to the meeting because my dress didn't show up. I subconsciously got my bag not to show up. And so all of that, I'm just trying to make my client happy, trying to make the sales guy happy, not really speaking up for what it is that I needed or wanted. And now that I'm looking into strep throat, it's holding on to anger for not being able to express ourselves. What? Really? Okay. I was trying to express myself, not feeling heard, not really standing my boundaries, and I kept caving over and over and over again. All right, fine. So got the strep throat. Don't know the emotional cause at that point in my life. That was on like a Friday or Saturday. A Saturday I go to Nashville. It's getting worse. I went to the urgent care. I got all the antibiotics that you needed. Went to urgent care, got it all settled. Drove to Nashville with my friend, and then from Nashville we were driving to Ohio to pick up my car and my dog. And then my mom and I were going to go over to Ohio. So my body is like, hey, still not feeling well. And usually for me with strep throat, I would get better pretty quickly. And I'm like, wow, like I'm not getting better. This is actually kind of getting worse. And I don't think it's the jet lag, but like I know I just arrived from Hong Kong a few days ago, but something's not right. So I end up going to making it to Ohio, and it's getting worse. So from Friday to Sunday night, everything's getting worse. I'm having trouble swallowing. It's not getting better. So by Monday or Tuesday, I'm supposed to fly to a client in New York. I'm obviously not going to that because I need to figure out what's going on with my body. I go to urgent care again. The antibiotics aren't strong enough, so they gave me another set. higher antibiotics. 2 more days later, I'm still sick. I am barely getting off the living room carpet. I am laying on the floor, barely drinking. I know I'm about to hit dehydration. This is not working for me. I got that intuitive nudge again. Christin, look up natural ways to heal strep throat. Christin, come on, do it. Do it. I'm on the antibiotics. Cool. What's it gonna hurt? I'm on antibiotics. It's not working. I don't want to go back to the doctors. Let's try something else. All I need to do is start gargling with some apple cider vinegar. I made it strong. I gargled like every 15 minutes to an hour. I was on top of it. My life changed. It changed so much that now anytime I have a sore throat, I'm gargling with apple cider vinegar. Because I went from laying on the floor to talking and eating dinner within less than 6 hours. Yes, were antibiotics a part of that? Absolutely. But there were things that I was being able to do naturally to assist the Western medicine. So I still am not even into energy work at that point in my life. Just kind of throw it to the side. Okay, fine, whatever, move on. I get to Vegas and a few months later or something, I start having menstrual problems where I'm spotting in between my periods, and being a woman, that's not what we want. It's taking away my life, and I just want to go to the pool and I want to have fun, and bleeding all the time is just no fun. And so as I'm going through this, I'm going to the doctors, we run every test, and everything's coming back normal. So she tries to tell me that I just need to go back on birth control. And my body starts to shake when I go pick up the prescription. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. And so when I'm in this mode, I'm like, there's got to be another way. Mind you, I had started eating organic many years before this. And so I'm like, I'm just going to go Whole Foods. I'm just going to hop on over and talk to someone over there and see if there's something natural I can take. I don't know. We're going to try it out. I don't even know if I need to go to another store, but I'm willing to try. And so what I realized is, like, going there, I started taking, there's like something really awesome that they've isolated the phenotypes of maca for women. And depending on the phase that you're at in your life for a woman, which is really important, I ended up taking this very particular supplement. My life started to change immediately. My hormones were balancing out. So between menstrual problems, which is a little bit more of like the pressure that we're putting on ourselves and the expectations that I was feeling at that time, were also making this a bit of a little malnutrition, because I was really getting into working out and I wasn't necessarily eating the right types of fats for my body or the amount of fats for my body. And so my hormones weren't actually working correctly. So as soon as that I started taking this maca, everything started to balance more. And malnutrition is rebelling against things that I couldn't control. What? Say that again. Rebelling against things I couldn't control. Guess what I wasn't doing? Speaking up in my career again. Wow. Remember, I don't know these things at the time about the emotional causes, but now when I reflect on all of those times in my life, I'm like, wow, shut down my voice, shut down my voice, shut down my voice. All of that within my body was trying to show me something was off. So we have an opportunity here to start to look at what's coming up in the body to look at the emotion, to look at the emotional cause, to transmute that energy, to start to speak up more, to start to realize where we're giving too much and not receiving, to really see where we're trying to control things versus being a little bit more flexible in our lives. And so those physical pains were debilitating at the time because that's how I knew to get out of doing things. It's how my body got my voice to speak, because if I was sick, it made it easier to say no. Well, or I could just learn to say no and live a much happier, healthier life. Well, that still took a while. Still working on it sometimes. But now I'm seeing how more and more gets interrelated. I had my spiritual awakening a few years after that in Vegas, and I learned a lot more about energy healing and how all of these things, like we can heal on a mental level, but then we still have these physical things that are happening. We can heal on the emotional level, but we still need the 3D fruits and veggies and meats and herbs and teas to help us bring it around. Sometimes we need Western medicine to help switch it so that it doesn't come back. And so if we started to look at the bigger picture and we started to take that bird's eye view, we'd start to really realize where in our life that we're out of balance. And so as I've gone through my spiritual awakening, I thought it was just going to be subconscious coaching. I realize I am not here for that. I am here for this holistic, big, fabulous change. And that really starts with different areas of natural healing. And one, it's the body speaking up. It's the emotions that are coming up. It's what are we striving for in our life and where are we getting blocked? And so then we can clear the emotions with somatic. We can clear the emotions with breath work and energy healing and crying and releasing and just taking some time to rest because our body had been speaking up. And the other thing that we can do is we can start to change the lifestyle, the environment that we're in. I drink filtered water, but like more like natural spring water and really adding in like alkaline elements, and that has changed my life too. And then there's different areas of my life that eating organic has really helped me and helped my stomach issues. And so this is a huge piece to our well-being. We can't discount it. Being able to work out, lifting weights helps the physical body in so many ways. And then it also can help us build more immunity. But what I really love the most is this energetic shift. And I have so many stories to tell you on the energy healing of my physical body, let alone of others' physical bodies and their emotional bodies. And it all transfers into every aspect of our life. But if everything is energy and everything is frequency, then the energy can shift the things in the body. And it can shift the past lives. It can shift the ancestral. And it can really shift the areas of the pain and the distress within the body. Wow. What? Really? Yes, it can. And that's why I'm here. And this is what I'm passionate about. And it's really amazing to reflect for me on all of the trials and tribulations that I've had and why I thought my life was so hard and that I just needed to work and things would get better. And I worked in a mostly male industry for many years, all to find my voice, all to find the strength within me, all to see where these physical pains were limiting me and making me stronger all at the same time. Because the more that I started working with these pains and these frequencies within my body, I started to be able to shift this at a much faster rate and pace. And this is where we're at with energy healing now. Like, it's fascinating that we can literally bring in different frequencies to shift and change and transcend and move through things that would take us lots of crying for grief and months of healing and years of changing from a people pleaser to an empowered individual. And we can now do this in a much shorter time period. That's fascinating to me. And I got into this work because I couldn't hold my hands together in a breathwork ceremony. And I know that I'm here to change, to bend energy, to show you a different way of healing. And we're not going to get there if we don't also address the emotions, if we don't address the lifestyle, because this is all of it. It is all of it. And so I can't believe that I just shared with you a huge portion of my life. I got on the other side of that. I'm living in Hawaii now. I'm living my dream, being walking distance to the ocean, living in a community where people say hi to each other. I'm going to go to the other side of the island in a little bit, and I guarantee you I'm going to run into someone I know. I love that. I love the community of the high vibration people that I have attracted into my life. I'm excited to continue to teach others how to listen to their bodies more, how to know their intuition from other people's energy. That's what I teach in my energy protection and cleansing and boundaries class. I love being able to help people start to realize the emotions that are coming up within their body. You don't need me, period. You don't need me. I will make your life easier because I've been there. I've done that. I've done all the legwork, and I've created different courses for you not to have to struggle and do it yourself. If you're in an assembly line, if you're doing all of the things, it's going to take you a while, but then you start to learn things and it goes faster and faster and faster. And so there are pieces that you're still going to need to do the work. But there are pieces that can be accelerated because I've already been there and done that. And so I created this course called Alchemize, which is really being able to understand your emotions and move from a place of clarity and to understand what that emotion is and to move it up and out of your body. If that works for you and you love the self-paced courses, like great, go for it. I will actually pop a link below for a little discount for watching this video, making it this far anyway. And then we also have the accelerators. You are ready to shift and change, and that's when I get to work with you one-on-one. And regardless, all of the information that is on my YouTube is going to get you accelerated in some fashion, because just being in my energy will accelerate you, I promise. Listening, putting things together, letting your mind figure it out, it's going to change your life. And if you're ready for a little bit more, there is a way to contact me below, and there always will be. So I'm excited to bring more healing to this planet, to bring more awareness to the places in my life that I've changed and shifted, and to really let nature take its course of natural healing isn't just plants and animals. It's a combination of emotions, of lifestyle, and of energy. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. And if you have any questions, you want to learn more, put those comments below, send me a DM. Glad to hear from you always, and to put out content that really resonates with you, to help you learn some more, because I've learned so much on this journey that putting it into a short YouTube video is kind of hard sometimes. So have a fantastic day. I will see you soon.